Hello and welcome, fellow pet hoarders! I finally managed to obtain all 24 pets that are currently in the console and mobile versions of Terraria, and in this video I will be showing you how you too can get them for yourself. This guide will be split into two parts, real-time and pre-recorded. Real-time will consist of me doing a quick look of each pet and showing you any features or effects that they may have, and then shortly after each pet I will show you a little snippet of pre-recorded video of me showing you any kind of bonus information on how you can obtain the pet, whether enemy drops or chests or locations, anything like that, percentages. So without waiting any longer, let's get started. So just a real quick side note, I grouped the pets into 6 different categories based on requirements needed to obtain them. I'll explain them as I go along, but we'll start with the 6 console and mobile exclusive pets, the first being the Petri dish as you see here. It spawns a pet that I believe to be a pretty iconic enemy found throughout the entire game, has more variants than any other, and is probably the very first enemy that we've ever seen or fought starting this game. I'm talking, of course, about the slime. Now, speaking of, here's a slime too. Well, this one is a blue slime. He doesn't act like a normal slime in that he slides around, as you can see, but when he comes across obstacles, he actually jumps over them, like you'll see here. And when he gets too far away from you, he's got a little animation similar to the run, as you can see I can do with my speed increase. You get the little clouds and the particles a little bit, and so he does too. All the console exclusive enemies, or pets I mean, that have this little animation, or whatever you want to call it, when they get too far away. But you'll see that here pretty soon. So, that's the slime. Now let's check out the buff real quick. The buff says, Pet Slime, a real slime ball. So secondly, we have the Beeswax. It spawns in the pet Tiphia, a wasp. He's one of the 2 console exclusive or mobile exclusive pets that I don't believe has an animation too far away. This one, like another one I'll show you here in a moment, has an ability to keep up to you pretty fast, so I don't think he has any kind of animation when he's outside of range, but I could be wrong. There is ways that you could probably go even faster, but like you can see here, he sticks pretty close to you. It used to be once upon a time. I don't believe he does it anymore. Oh, actually, I think I got him to do it there for a second. This is one of the pets that can actually... It might have just been my hit points, but they used to be once upon a time actually be able to damage. Yeah, I think it's just my hit points. They used to be able to damage enemies, but they no longer do that anymore. But it's not going to matter here in a little bit because they're going to be removing these pets here pretty soon. Let's see what his buff says. So, Pet Tiphia wants all the honeys. So third, we have the Cabbage. The Cabbage spawns in the pet guinea pig. This little guy has a little run that he does when he follows you. He also, just like the slime, has a little cloudy, sparkly effect when you get too far away from him. It's a little leap. Looks like he's kind of farting after you. But let's see what his simply adorable pet guinea pig. So fourth, we have the wolf Fang. Spawns in a pet werewolf. It's like a lightish blue-gray color. Red eyes. He also has the little sparkly effect. I believe he also, too, leaps over obstacles, just like the others. I don't think I showed the guinea pig, but I believe he does the same thing. He leaps over stuff as well. But that's pretty much the werewolf. He just follows you around like that. When he does the little animation, though, it's kind of funny because he just stays in the one position. He just looks like he's floating, hovering around. So let's see what his buff says. His buff says, Pet Werewolf, man's best friend. So fifth, we have the Vial of Blood. Spawns in this little pet bat. He's the other one that I was referring to that does a pretty good job keeping up with you, so I don't believe he has any kind of animation if he gets too far away from you. I think he just speeds up to make up the difference. He used to also be an enemy at one point that used to damage, I believe, the werewolf and the Tiphia also used to damage, but they seem to have fixed that, and it no longer applies. So that's the bat. Let's see what his little buff says. Pet bat, out for blood. So the sixth and final pet for the console and mobile exclusive will be the brain here. This summons in a pet zombie. He's kind of similar to the werewolf. He does his little hop. He also has his little animation too when he's too far away and he's in like a stuck state. However, his like mid-walk is when you start jumping is how he stays. Floats around, particles. So nothing too special about him. So let's see what his little buff says. Eats brains, pet zombie. So that's it for the console exclusive pets. You can see all of them here. These will be removed when the 1.3 update is released, but according to the wiki that I have read the update notes on, it says that they may be revisited further down the line by the game developers, and they'll see whether or not they feel that they need to be reintroduced in the game sometime later on. But for now, they will be removed and replaced with what I've heard is a gold bunny, which is worth 10 gold apiece. So let's move on to the next category. So the second category I've labeled as found pets. These are ones that need to be found. Starting off will be the amber mosquito. it spawns in a baby dinosaur. This little green and brown striped dinosaur, it looks like. See if he has any, he does a little jump. Not too big, not as high as the other ones we've seen. Let's see what his little animation is when he flies around. That's kind of cool. I like that. Gets carried around by a little pterodactyl, pterosaur. That's kind of cool. More creative than the other ones, at least. So that's the dinosaur. Let's get him down here so you can see him a little bit better. So let's see what his buff says. A baby dinosaur is following you. So he has one of the generic buff labels. It just says that the particular thing is following you. So next up, we have the fish. Spawns in a baby penguin. It's a little cute, big-eyed, blue-eyed penguin, looks like. He also has a little tiny hop, just like the dinosaur. Little cute hop. He kind of doesn't really have much of an animation. It looks like he moves around so fast. His feet might be moving, but I can't tell. But anyway, let's see what his little... Oh, he's got the sparkly effect too, just like the console and mobile exclusive pets too. Just a little cloudy puff. So let's drop down here real quick and see what his buff is. I think he wants your fish. So next up, we have the seaweed. Spawns in a turtle. He looks like he gets a little propellers when he gets too far away from you. This little turtle propeller on top of his shell. Let's see, he's really slow too. Does he have a little hop, or does it just? It looks like he just propellers everywhere. So yeah, he uses his other form a lot because he's just so slow. So there's the turtle. Let's see what his little buff says. Happy turtle time. So next to last of this category, we have the Tartar Sauce. Spawns in baby Minotaur. It's kind of a funky looking guy. See what kind of moves he has. Doesn't really. He just actually just climbs over. Does a little kind of a hop. Let's see what he does when he's farther away. He has kind of a little propeller action too, it looks like. Okay, so let's drop down here. See what his buff says. How do you defeat a mini Minotaur? So finally for this category we have the Zephyr Fish. He is similar to the fish you see, the flying fish that spawn when it's raining. He's a very brightly colored fish, flies around after you. Let's see if he has any kind of outrun maneuver. No, it looks like he just slowly flies after you. Nothing too special. Just a flying one, so he doesn't really have any kind of like land animation. He just floats around. So let's stop here and see what his buff says. Zephyr Fish. It likes swimming around you. So for the third category, I have enemy drops. Starting off will be the toy sled. Spawns in a little baby snowman. Hops around after you. He's got this giant head. Just kind of bobs up and down real quick. Let's see what he has for faraway animation. He just appears in the sled. that looks like the spawner. Just flies around after you. So let's drop down here real quick and see what his buff says. A baby snowman is following you, so he has just a default. So next is the lizard egg. Spawns in a lizard. Cool little iguana looking thing with wings. That's a pretty cool animation too. I like that one as well. Just looks like a little flying dragon, kind of. It's pretty quick too. He catches up to you really fast. So let's come back down here. Show him off there for a second, and let's see what his buff says. Chillin' like a reptilian. So the last one of this category is the infamous Bone Key. This thing's pretty tough to get, but if you have a right setup, you could probably do it pretty easily. This spawns in the little Skeletron head here. He's pretty slow, but when he gets far away from you, he does the little spin animation like the Dungeons Guardians and the Skeletron does when he's pretty mad at you and wants to come wreck your stuff. So that's pretty much him. Doesn't really have too much. He just floats around slowly and then spins around. So let's see what he says. Don't even ask. So the next few in this fourth category I call the boss drops. This is the eater's bone. This spawns in this little baby eater. Little cute guy. Let's see if he has any animation. It looks like he just flies around. He doesn't really have anything special. Pretty slow. So let's stop here for a second. Let's see what his buff says. A baby eater of souls is following you, so he has the generic one. So second to the boss drops, we have the Nectar, which spawns in a baby Hornet. Now this one's actually a lot bigger than the Tiphia of the console exclusive. This one is also pretty fast. It looks like he keeps up with you. Doesn't have any kind of animation other than just fluttering around. So let's stop here a second. Let's see if he has any kind of special buff message. It thinks you're its mother. So lastly, we have the Seedling. Spawns in a little sapling. This little guy here. Looks like he flutters, flies around when he gets too far away. Gets little leaf wings. Looks kind of cool. It's pretty fast too. So let's go down here and see what he has. A little sapling is following you. So these next ones are part of what I call the event category. This is the eyeball spring, or the eye spring. Summons a little eyeball. Kind of a creepy looking thing. Bounces around after you. Let's see if it has any kind of... It just kind of flaps around. It's kind of like a weird fish. So let's stop over here real quick. Let's see. Looks like a little snake sitting there. Let's see what kind of buff he has. Eyeball Spring. And Eyeball Spring is following you. Now moving on, we have the Cursed Sapling. Now this one's pretty interesting for a couple of reasons. One, I guess it's not too interesting, but one, it's one of the few pets, probably the only one, at least for the console and mobile version, that it's called, the summoner is called what the pet is called. So it's the Cursed Sapling, it spawns a Cursed Sapling. The other ones, they have similar names a lot of the times, but they're actually a little different. So this one, but not only that, that's not the only thing that's interesting. The other thing that's interesting is this thing actually has the ability, let me zoom out here, he's probably doing his little circular motion there where he flies around with fire. He actually lights up. You could probably fire at the bottom when he circles around. You can get down here and him still. He actually will, you can use him to find caves and stuff. He's one of the few pets that actually emits light. So that's a pretty neat trick that he's got. So you can actually use him for more than just a pet. So let's see if we can get him to stop here for a second. Let's zoom back in. Little creepy looking guy. Let's see what else he's got. Is he just really slow? Yep, he's pretty slow. He just does that fire thing a lot. So let's stop over here real quick and see if he has any special bonus message for you. If he'd stop moving. Come on. I guess he's just going to keep moving. Cursed Sapling. A Cursed Sapling is following you. So next we have the Spider Egg. Summons a little spider. Little creepy guy. Look at him hobbling around after you. He's pretty slow too. When you get far away, he spawns this little web and flies around after you. I give him credit for coming up with a different animation than the spider staff. Because for a second I was thinking the spider staff and I was thinking he grew little wings. He also, that's pretty cool too, look at that. He also actually catches on to back walls and crawls around on them. That's kind of cool. It's a neat little little thing they added to him. So let's see what he's got. Buff message. It just says a spider is following you. So lastly, we have another quite difficult one to attain. But it's also quite a mouthful. It's the baby Grinch whistle. Wait, it's Grinch. He's so cute, the little Cindy Lou Who, like, little curly thing there on his head. So he's just this little green guy wearing a little diaper, it looks like. He hops around, runs pretty fast. Let's see if he's got some kind of, what is that, a balloon? When he's too far away, he gets like a balloon. Yep, a little balloon floats around. That's funny. It's a little cute animation of him just dangling there on a balloon. So let's go down here and see what his message has. Just a baby Grinch is following you. So here we are at the 6th and final category. This is the purchased ones. These ones are a bit easier to obtain. You just have to have the money. This is the Tiki Totem. It spawns in this little tiki mask that floats around. Kind of reminds me of the guy from Crash Bandicoot. He just spins around. Let's see if he has some kind of animation when he's too far away. Looks like he just turns sideways. Just looks at you and keeps floating after you. So that's pretty much him. He just keeps floating around. Let's get over here and stop and see what he does, or what his buff says. Only spirit is following you. So nearly there, we have the strange glowing mushroom. This summons in a little Truffle. He hops around after you. Let's see what kind of animation he has when he gets too far away. He just teleports. Yeah, he just kind of phases in. Kind of weirded me out at first because I was like, let's see what he has. And then he was just there and I was like, well, did I miss something? But anyway, so he phases in. Another thing that's pretty interesting about him is he, just like the sapling, he actually emits a little glow. I'm trying to see if I can get somewhere real quick where you can see it. Let me go down to this cave over here. There's a little dark area. See, he's got this blue little purpley kind of indigo maybe glow to him. You can kind of see the back wall. So it's not too strong, but it is there. So he's one of the few pets that actually emits a light. So let's get him over here real quick, and then we'll see what his buff says. Isn't this just so cute? So last but not least, we have the spawns in the pet. It looks pretty cool. Let's see, he just stands there. Let's see what he does when he gets far. He's flapping away pretty fast. He seems to be staying with you just like a lot of the other flying pets. He doesn't really seem to have much of an animation besides just flying. Sits there all good for you when you stop. So let's see what his says, and then we'll move on to the end. Let's see, Pet Parrot. Polly wants the cracker. So here they are, all 24 that are required for the Pet Hoarder achievement in the console versions of Terraria. You need to actually have all the pets and have summoned them for it to register. There are a few other ones on here that I don't have, but they are only found during seasonal events and they are not required for the achievement at all. This video did take me quite a lot of time to put together, trying to track down all of these pets all over again just for the sake of the video. So if you did enjoy this or did find it helpful in any way, please leave a like rating. That is super appreciated because it actually lets me know that there's people out there that like my content. But I'm going to leave that there. I wish you luck in your pet finding because I know it's pretty tough. So, I mean, if you're looking for a particular one, just the only thing I can say is hang in there, because you might even need to take breaks here and there, because when I was trying to get recording for certain pets in there, it was driving me nuts. I almost wanted to quit playing. You just have to have the dedication. You just got to stick in there. A lot of the times the drop rates are just, they're crap. They barely drop at all. And it seems like, especially me trying to do this video, it's like the game knew that I was trying to record. And so it just wouldn't give me what I wanted for the longest time, and it can really hang on you, like it can really drag you down. But just keep your head up and just keep going for it. I mean, if you're really wanting to get this achievement, you still have a little bit of time before they add more pets, because this is one of the games that keeps, when it adds something in the next update, it actually includes it towards the achievement. So it's made it a lot more difficult over the updates because it keeps adding more and more and more. And if you still have time before the next 1.3 update is released, you just need these 24 that I'm showing you. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until the update comes out and whatever pets they add, then you'll have to get those tacked on top. But that's it for my video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta for now.